Okay, let's make a Valentine's Day card. We have a laser cut piece of paper, an LED, a battery, and if we put these together the right way, it makes different colors. We have some copper foil to move that electricity along. And we're going to start with a copper foil. To open the copper foil, hold it just a little bit like this and flick your finger in front of it, and that will separate the foil from the paper. And then you can peel the copper off of the paper. Only peel as much as you need at a time. About an inch is plenty. Setting aside some of these parts, we're going to start on the part of this that becomes the switch. Now you'll notice there's a little bit here. What we want to do is fold these in, and we want to make a bit of a bump. So here's the bump. It's on the back side, and we're going to take the copper foil and we're going to insert it in here like this. And we're going to use the copper foil to make a little bit of a bump out of those little pieces of paper. And there we have our bump. You see it there? That's going to touch the battery. On this side, we're going to follow the tracks down to the first corner. We can actually bend this corner up and back down again to get it ready. And then we're going to bring the copper onto the corner. And once we get it on the corner, we're going to bend that one more time, up and over. That bends the copper and gets it ready to make that turn. Then we're going to take it along the tracks to the next corner, bend that corner up, and move that copper to the next corner. Bending it down first onto the corner, and then we pull this up and it should bend over in a 45-degree angle, which makes a right angle corner. And then finally, we're going to come up here just inside the heart, make one last turn, and now we want to settle this in so that it comes about halfway on and halfway off as it goes across that hole. And then we'll cut that off when we're done with that piece of tape. With the next piece of tape, we're going to start this piece of tape just halfway inside the battery hole. This is the hole where the battery will be. We're going to put it halfway through, so it ends about in the middle of that hole. It's going to hang out in the air for a minute. Don't worry about that. We've got one corner to make here. We're going to fold this up, and we'll bring a copper tape onto it, and then fold it one more time again with the copper tape. Make that right-hand corner, and up onto the heart. And again on the left-hand side, we're going to end it. So just put your fingernail straight down onto the paper like this and pull the copper tape up, and it'll end right there for you. Alright, so that's all the copper we need to make this Valentine's Day. Now we can kind of mush these in. We can fold those back like that, get them nice and neat. Don't crush that bump. You're going to want it later. This, by the way, is going to fold up in here to close over the battery, and this is going to close over to make the switch. But we'll get to that in a minute. The next thing we're going to want to do is fold this over like this. And here we're going to want to bring these hearts up. Now this is a three-dimensional fold. So if we push with two fingers in the small heart and with our thumb pull these back, we're going to get this three-dimensional shape going. And we've got to kind of coax it until the first time it's bent. Mind these bends as well. They need to be in the right place. They're marked. They should fall into place, but you have to do this kind of gingerly and carefully, watching both sides as you go. Once you get the fold bend, everything should be good there. Once we get that done, we're going to add a little bit of glue to the back side of this face. Now it's important right up here where the heart is that we get glue along all these parts here, but not on the heart itself. And also around the battery, a little bit of glue there. And the corners, it's good if the corners have glue. And that bottom edge, and then just a little dab will do you in the middle here somewhere. And we can fold this right back here and on the card. It's important that the foil is up when we make this bend. If the foil is down, you went the wrong way, right? All right, so there's our first heart. Now we have a battery. We're going to take the battery, push that copper into the middle, and we're going to put the battery right there and fold this over. Before we put the battery in, I'm just going to add some glue to the top of this and the bottom. This is going to hold the battery in place. It's important that the battery not get out. So let's put some extra glue on this part. And we're going to put the battery in here. Let's make sure there's no glue in the hole because I think the glue will interfere with the electricity. I didn't get the conductive glue. There really are not a lot of conductive glues. Alright, so we're going to press this down, and that's going to capture the battery. Now the battery should not fall out of that hole, right? It should be held in there really well, and the battery is now going nowhere, and it's connected to that rail right there, which goes under there. The next is the switch. We're going to pull this back. It has a bend right here. So we're going to make that bend. We're going to pull it back and then put some glue on this side. Just this little face right here. And push that over. And then we're almost done with the switch. We can move this, bring this over here. It has one more fold right here. I'm going to fold that one up. Put a little glue on that one. Now this is where it's good if I can get this kind of tight. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit and fold it along its line as I settle this in. And I'm going to push this up and make it tight so that I've still got some reach. That the card should not want to go down. It should be hard, not terribly hard, but a little bit difficult to get it to go down flat because that's our switching action. Alright, now we just have to do some cosmetics. We've got this fold here and this heart. We're going to be, just before we pull that heart forward, I'm going to put some glue on this little white heart. Trying to get the edges so it stays down. It'll be in better focus if we can get all the edges down. So while this is flat, I'm going to put this right here on front and hide the word love. Notice that I could read the word love before I put that on. If you can't read the word love, it's backwards, then things are the wrong way around. I'm going to push this heart out with 2 fingers again. As I pull it up here and push these in, making sure they don't get tangled on each other, and I don't crease it anywhere I shouldn't. I get this nice 3-dimensional flat fold. Then you can see that's the front heart. And this is not glued yet, so now that I've bent the heart back, I'm going to put some glue. Again, right up here on the edge, because this is what defines where the folds will be. And on the bottom edge too, in this outside corner so it doesn't get stuck. And a little bit in the middle just for good measure. And this folds over and lands right where it goes. And there we go. So now the 2 faces are, the 2 hearts are in place, the card is there, the battery's in place. We can fold the whole thing closed now and crease this. The main card, you can see how it's supposed to work, except for it doesn't yet, right? So we're going to add some important parts. This is an LED. If we separate these legs just a little bit, we can start to experiment by putting it on one leg and the other. You can see that our switch is working here. When we close it, it turns on. Now, I might have to turn the LED around and try it this way. It will work one way, and the other way it won't work. So you can experiment with touching it both ways. The shorter lead, by the way, goes on the right-hand side. So we're going to open these leads up like this, spread wide, and I'm going to push them through these 2 holes. I'm going to pull them just close enough that I can get them through the 2 holes here. Opening this heart up, I'm going to slip it through. Notice the light comes on right away. That's good if the light blinks a little bit when we're doing this. You know you've got the polarity right. And you know your battery circuit's in good shape. So I'm just going to straighten these out as I push the LED into position there. And then they're probably too long. So we can bend these back a little bit just to shorten them. But don't bend them back too early or it won't stay in. So I just bent those back to shorten them. And I'm going to fiddle with this a little bit now. We've got 2 options. We can solder this in place. This makes a great soldering project, or you can just leave it like that. So if that's working, then you've got a card that will light up. To finish it, we just open this up and we add a little bit of glue right here on the top of this heart. Just the first and outside heart rings will do, and that will hold the 2 together. And now we're really done. I'm going to turn the light out so that we can see better what it looks like. So here it is, and when we open it, we can see the light is shining through the paper. That's it.